I am not Elizabeth and Tomas. I'm just Elizabeth. I was going to make a joke that he didn't like the last panel, so he left, but that seems mean. He went to the airport. He had to catch a flight. But thank you. That was an amazing conversation, and it's not lost on me that in some ways we started the day on intimacy and empathy, and we are ending the day in some ways on the role of empathy for marketers and the way that that allows and enables strategic bravery. For anyone who hasn't caught it, Work dropped their annual future strategy report today. Tomas and I had the opportunity to get a sneak preview and write the forward for that. And one of the stats in there that really stuck out, or a pair of stats that really stuck out for me, if I'm remembering this correctly, it was like 68% of strategists polled said that they felt like their agencies encouraged them to be more strategically brave. But only 8% of strategists polled said that they felt like their clients wanted them to be strategically brave. And, I think everyone here, hopefully, if you weren't convinced before you got here over the course of the day, I think we believe in the power of strategic bravery to make breakthrough work. We've seen some great inputs that just show us that even in moments where we want to be creative, there are so many barriers, there's so many reasons not to do something that is a little bit divergent, a little bit untested, a little bit untried. But I really appreciated what Antonio had to say, because I think the more that we can understand the context of what the bravery of the ideas are meant to serve, the business they're meant to move, the behavior they're meant to change, the better reception we'll probably get when we bring our wild thoughts and our big ideas. I know I'm walking away from today just reflecting on the fact that bravery is simple to talk about in principle, harder to execute for a lot of the reasons we've talked about. Strategic bravery always looks genius in the rearview mirror, but looks a little bit foolhardy on the front end. It's easy. I can't remember. I feel like there was a 10-year period where every client was like, or every marketer was like, where's my opt-out side? And sometimes you were looking at them being like, you would not have bought opt-out side if I brought it to you. But the more I think we can really be business partners, the more I think we can understand the stakeholders that those CMOs are under pressure for, I think the better reception that we'll find for those ideas. Because in the end, there is a reason why when you ask people the work they love, the same examples come up over and over and over again. The work that gets talked about, the work that wins in the marketplace, the work that moves hearts and minds is the work that is strategically brave, is the work that pushes things forward. And so somewhere between the unstoppable force and the immovable object of our desire to be strategically brave and all of the obstacles, I think strategists have the opportunity to lead the way forward and help us figure out how to do it. A phrase I've been thinking about a lot today is that when someone is brave, and we've seen a lot of bravery today in our speakers and our panelists, we often say they have the courage of their convictions. That's a common phrase for someone who's brave. They have the courage of their convictions. And courage involves uncertainty. And we've talked a lot about uncertainty and fear today, but convictions are firmly held beliefs. And I think it is really, really important for us as strategists, whether we're brand side, agency side, et cetera, to really take stock and put in the time and do the legwork on what are our convictions. What are our convictions on how brands grow? What is our conviction in the work that will move the business? I loved actually what Antonio said of start with the business problem. That sounds like such a simple thing, but creativity and bravery in pursuit of a win, when we have strong conviction, I think has a better chance of living, because conviction drives courage. So to the extent to which we as strategists can figure out what does the data tell us, what does the research say, what is the path that informs our belief on how these brands will win, I think the more receptive an audience will find. So more or less, that brings us to the end of StratFest 2023. I feel like we've had a great day together. We would love to thank not only the speakers, all of the amazing team from the 4As that produces this event. Huge round of applause for you guys. Big thank you to our sponsors for their support. So specifically, and I'm supposed to press the palm tree. Oh, hold on. Let me go back one. Okay, there we go. So big thank you to all of our sponsors, some of whom we've heard from today, some of which I'll tell you about now. I want to call out WordStream by Local IQ. They are a popular state of the digital marketing agency. They have a report that is back. and they have a special partnership with the 4As. And so they have an exclusive webinar where they're going to be talking about their findings on Wednesday, November 1st at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. You'll get an insider's view into how more than 300 agencies talk about their biggest challenges, how they position their services. Obviously, we've talked about that a little bit today and more. So if you go to the Flow page, you can learn more about that. And then last but not least, the survey that I mentioned earlier, if you could just take a minute on the Flow, I can't say that word, Flow Go page, to take the survey. It really will inform what we do next year, the speakers that come, the themes we consider, et cetera. So if you could do that in the next 10 days, that would be great. And then we're gonna have content. If you wanna go back and like rewind, watch a video, see a quote, I would say X, but I just can't. If you want to tweet something, some hot take that you heard today, the content will be up for 90 days. And then you'll also be able to find additional Jay Scheid award-winning case studies. So we saw some great case studies today, but you'll be able to see more on the website on demand. So thank you again for coming, and hopefully we'll see you next year.